This message is brought to you by Venmo. Being a football fan isn't always easy, especially during the postseason. The stakes are high, the pressures are through the roof, and your team is out there struggling against impossible odds while all you can do is just watch? That's hard. But paying with Venmo all playoff long? That's easy. Whether you're catching a ride to the stadium, ordering food to the watch party, or hooking yourself up with some vintage swag, just pay with Venmo for great deals on your favorite brands. Terms and exclusions apply.
Folks, I'm getting hungry, and you know my favorite part of any meal, snack, or game day app? That's right. The GOAT, or should I say the greatest of all time, Frank's Red Hot. It's got the perfect blend of flavor and heat that elevates all foods, from wings to buffalo chicken dip to even ice cream. That's right, I said ice cream. And with a roster of flavors, from OG to sweet chili, you can put that shit on everything. So make every dish the greatest and eat the GOAT.
Ready to relax in your dream bath retreat without the stress of figuring out every detail yourself? At the Home Depot, your bath upgrade is covered. Shop fully designed rooms and curated bath collections to go from inspiration to transformation fast. Savings of up to 40% will make it easier on your budget. And find everything you need, from tubs to toilets and all the tile in between, to bring your vision to life. The Home Depot. Dream baths built here.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings.
Why are you listening to this show?
The podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Juju, put these questions on the poll, please. Why was Lady Gaga there? Yes or no?
No.
Also, was anyone clamoring for a remade television show of the teddy bear Ted? Yes or no?
My son and I watch it. It's hilarious. You're way off base.
I'm not even sure if people know what you're talking about based off how you said that.
It's
the teddy bear Ted.
What?
The teddy bear Ted.
Teddy bear Ted.
I think
how
it's
much
in
clearer
its
could
third
I have
season.
made it?
Yeah.
And it's on Peacock.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering whether anybody was clamoring for that.
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
think so, since it's a multi-season run and popular IP. And you can find it right here on Peacock.
Also, I saw on the broadcast early as they were showing all of the celebrities, they were saying, and there is Jay-Z with his crew. And Beyonce's there. Beyonce's more famous than Jay-Z at this point. Is she not? Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Who's more famous, Jay-Z or Beyonce?
I don't like how they're scrambling back there.
She was not there. That was his daughter.
That was his daughter, Blue Ivy Carter.
But again, looks just like her.
Just like her.
Dan.
That's a compliment, I guess.
I knew once they started moving back there.
Did any of you
Pressure with 4.
Did any of you watch the North Carolina Duke game? Because
Smooth.
I really didn't.
Again, Dan, to be fair, though.
A twin.
I mean, very much
It was
looks
a
like
flash.
her mom.
It was quick. It was a flash. And
It was
I
like
thought-
sideways, too. Like, I saw that same thing. I was like, oh, there's Jay. And it's like, oh, wait a second.
Man, that's not Beyonce.
I'm telling you, very close.
What?
Did you guys watch North Carolina Duke? Because
I did. I did not watch the very end. I fell asleep. I thought that game was over.
Mike, Duke was leading the entire game, and it remains a mystery to me today how North Carolina won that game, because it very much was in the last 4 minutes of that game. 3 out of nowhere. College basketball players can't actually shoot. They're all learning how to play basketball. They're all terrible shooters. You never see threes go down like that. Bang, bang, bang. And then the last one hits, and you got to let them storm the court, and you got to leave the 0.4 of a second off of the clock. Don't get everyone off of the court. John Shire saying after the game that one of his staffers got punched. No one saw the staffer get punched. And there's still not video evidence of the staffer getting
In his
punched?
defense, there are very rarely cameras at a Duke, North Carolina game.
They rush everyone off the court and then play the last 0.4 of a second. So then you get the court storming again after that. You get 2 court storms, but North Carolina deserved to enjoy the revelry of winning that game, because having watched that game, I still don't understand how they won that game.
Yeah, North Carolina fans and the students should be embarrassed. Should be ashamed of themselves. You're North Carolina basketball. You're storming the court.
That was a pretty fun way to win.
It doesn't matter, though.
Duke's
storming
top
the
5.
court.
It's
Zaz, Duke is top
It's
5.
their rival. And UNC's ranked too.
Okay,
UNC's
but
also ranked.
What's a top 5 win?
Ranked versus ranked, you don't storm.
That's what they care the most
UNC basketball, UNC should storm the court against nobody.
They hate Duke the most. They would only storm the court against Duke. That's the one.
But you stormed the court because you just did something improbable. So UNC basketball's telling me that beating Duke is now improbable?
Not a problem, but a top 5 Duke team that's a very good team.
Dude, you can be excited,
Have
but you
some
don't storm.
self-respect.
You can it can be a ruckus atmosphere.
Yep.
You go crazy, but you don't storm
Have
because
some
you've
self-respect.
been here before.
Zaz, I get your larger point, and in a vacuum, I don't even really disagree with you, but you're saying when it's improbable, you can storm the court. Well, if you watch this game,
No.
it was improbable.
It was.
That was a wire-to-wire ass-kicking that they were on the receiving end of. I still am confused because I fell asleep, and I fell asleep because I'm like, this game did not deliver.
Storming the court doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't. It has no meaning anymore.
Chris Cody, what did you put in front of the atmosphere? What is the word?
Oh, no. Ruckus?
So you made it a ruckus.
A ruckus atmosphere, no?
The raucous atmosphere.
Raucous.
Yeah, but so it was both, though, because it was also a ruckus. It turned into a ruckus because
okay. Nailed it.
Yeah, but you didn't nail it. But
Two birds, one stone.
Wait, what?
Oh.
I said something, meant something else, but it fits.
So on this day, though, Bill Belichick shows up. We were talking about this last week, right? We were talking about the Panthers fighting with the Lightning, and we were talking about rivalries, but also players actually hating each other. And when you see a North Carolina game against Duke, their luminaries show up. Like their people all show up, former players, and it's a really fun, different thing. And these schools hate each other, and that hatred gets passed down generationally from parents. So Bill Belichick goes to the game with Jordon Hudson, and she's wearing, what is the shirt she is wearing there? Can you describe it to the audio audience there?
It is an Orchids of Asia Day Spa t-shirt, obviously custom made. This is the massage parlor that was tied to Robert Kraft's prostitution bust in 2019.
How do you know the parlor doesn't sell them?
Good point by him.
Do you have rocks in your mouth?
When he delivers a good point, he does it with a little rubble. When he's got you, when he's got you cornered.
I've been around him so long that I can kind of speak, but if I just met you, I wouldn't know what the hell you just said.
How do you not know that they don't sell them? Because you're saying it's custom made, and he's as a journalist, he's questioning your verification.
I'm on it.
Cool. Then she went down to the day spa that was connected to Robert Kraft's 2019
Well, she could have just ordered.
prostitution
She probably
bust.
could have just ordered it on Amazon. It doesn't have to be. She doesn't have to go down to Boca.
All right, let's not get bogged down here. There was intention.
Yeah.
All right, this is evil. This is sinister. This is calling attention to this. This is trolling. This is speaking to all the conspiracy theories out there that Robert Kraft is behind Bill Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame. This is, you want to talk about, this is a purposeful distraction for Bill Belichick. What, Bill Belichick's going to play dumb there? They did this with intention. They don't get to play the whole leave us alone, we're not asking for any of this card. That is, we are looking for this attention. We have a message to share.
Do you think this is him being hey, you should do this? Or is this her, hey, I have this idea. Remember, he did this, and Bill's just like, oh,
this cares. They're both having a laugh over
but
it.
I am just curious the dynamic there of who's the actual mastermind behind this.
This is a crazy move.
This is staggering in its pettiness. It really, when I saw this, I was like, whether Bill knows or not, I cannot believe the size of this pettiness. Even if, look, man, I have rarely seen my wife how she gets when she gets that way in defense of me. She doesn't do it in defense of herself. It's when someone has wronged me. What it stirs in her is something that is nastier than I'm used to seeing from her. And I don't know whose idea this was. I can't imagine that it was Belichick's idea, but it is born of whatever it is that Belichick is telling her about Bob Kraft, that she would wear a t-shirt that represents Robert Kraft's greatest public shame. There is none worse than this, than him being caught as an old man in a Boca tanning strip mall center in the middle of a sex trafficking ring, allegedly. Like, he has no greater public shame to wear that t-shirt while standing next to Belichick at North Carolina Duke when the Patriots are in the Super Bowl is a breathtaking amount of petty, a flabbergasting amount of petty.
It's right up there with that time Robert Kraft auditioned for that movie.
Can we get that? Can we get that video? Because I think I got in trouble for playing that on ESPN one time before Robert Kraft, actually before Bill Belichick ended up with the young girlfriend. Robert Kraft, a recently widowed Robert Kraft, was doing auditioning for a part, acting or helping a young woman in a part. And
I forgot about that.
I got in trouble for playing that on ESPN on Highly Questionable. Yeah, they got there. I don't know what phone calls got made where, but I found out after playing it because I was so delighted by it, right? It's an 80-year-old owner sitting there acting opposite, here we go, a Heather Graham.
We got in trouble before, doing it here.
Do it again. A Heather Graham lookalike, yes, in a bikini top. And see if you can find the sound, because the audition is truly terrible. Like, he's a cigar store wooden Indian for acting. Like, he's just... He's absolutely not not a good actor. Go ahead and play it.
How do you know the parlor doesn't sell them?
How you know?
I found that one first.
How you know the parlor doesn't sell them?
How do you know the parlor doesn't sell them? I'll be honest with you. At first, I wasn't sure what I said there.
How do
you know the parlor doesn't sell them? It's tough to make out what I said.
How do you know the parlor doesn't sell them?
It's when you're at your most confident and most relaxed, when you know you've got a killer line, you just do your jowls get a little looser, and you really let it fly there, and you had a good one.
There's an air of confidence to that.
How do you know is 4 words?
I don't want to see you after a couple of brown liquors in you.
How do you know the... Whatever. It had the effect. How do you know the...
I did understand him.
Had the effect of what?
I understand him, but I've known him for 20 years.
Got the point across.
Guys, let me tell you something. One of the greatest joys of my life was when they finally opened a White Castle in my neighborhood in Phoenix, Arizona. I lost my mind because I'm so used to eating White Castle at home when I was in New York. Now I can have it all the time when I'm in Phoenix. But when I come to Miami, there's no White Castle. So you know what I do? Go to the freezer aisle, because right there, they got the variety pack with all the great White Castle flavor in there. You're getting a lot of slider styles. You're getting classic American cheese. You're getting jalapeno cheese. And if you're a bacon lover, you're getting that new cheddar bacon cheese sliders. The classic cheese gives you all the taste of a great American burger, while jalapeno cheese sliders give a serving of spicy to each bite. And the new cheddar bacon cheese? That literally brings home the bacon, folks! With real pieces of bacon in cheddar-flavored cheese. Guys, I know what you're thinking. Your mouth is watering. My mouth is watering just reading this. That's completely normal. You can find each of these sliders where? In the grocery store, in the freezer aisle. Bonus, they're all in the same box. You don't even have to, I gotta get 4 boxes. No, it's one variety box. It's got them all in it. Perfect for game day, late nights, or anytime you just want something awesomely oniony, satisfying, steamy, and unapologetically cheesy. White Castle. Crave thy castle.
All these patients complaining they can't get their medicines. Insurers and PBMs are often owned by the same giant company, so middlemen, like me, decide what medicines you can get and how much you pay. But don't worry, if your prescription gets denied, we know another one that works for us. I mean, you.
Washington should stop PBMs and insurers from driving up drug costs. Learn more at phrma.org/insurer costs. Paid for by Pharma.
The French dip from Firehouse Subs is here for a limited time. piled high with premium roast beef, caramelized onions, and melty cheese on a freshly toasted garlic butter roll. Every French dip is served with warm, savory au jus for dipping. This melty French dip is only at Firehouse Subs for a limited time, so head to your nearest Firehouse Subs or order on the app and try the French dip before it's gone. Limited time at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants while supplies last.
Don Batard.
My algorithm on Instagram is, Dan, it's all boobs.
Stugotz.
It's a good algorithm.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
You guys are surprised by how petty that is, right? Like that you would just do any of that publicly. Not that you would feel it. Not that you would feel it, but that you would do it. That you would allow anybody to feed on this kind of petty.
It's not even just that it's the weekend that the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, and obviously 6 championships with the Super Bowl with the Patriots. But Drake May went to the school that he works at and is in the Super Bowl that weekend with the Patriots, and this is why Belichick's an asshole, and I find it funny that he was left out of the Hall of Fame. That's why that was funny to me last week when Belichick now has to wait because he's a dick.
Am I the only one that can see a scenario where he doesn't really know what's happening here?
Oh, stop. That's what he's counting on. For everyone to just think he's some doddering old man that doesn't get the reference?
Wouldn't he clearly say, that's going to get picked up? Like, you're just making more news for me. It just feel like if she pitches that. I'm not trying to say that. I'm sure he is aware a little bit. I don't know. It just seems so obvious that this would make news.
If it bothered
that he would try to avoid it.
If it bothered... No. He's actually looking for it.
Right. And
that is insanely petty.
No, and that's the part that I also find to be incredibly hypocritical, and it's something that he was doing this entire first year at UNC. For the coach who in the NFL, when we're dealing with professional players, was all about no distractions, it's only about the team, don't do or say anything that takes any of the attention away from football. And he is non-stop with let's take attention away from the team.
Okay, the thing that I want to go down the path on, though, and thank you, Chris, for doing that, because I think we're all in agreement, like, he can't be an innocent victim on all of this. But beyond petty, I suppose you can make the argument on behalf of it being artful content-wise, but if that's the way you feel, Bill, say it. Like, don't drape your 20-year-old girlfriend in it. Like, if that's the way you feel, stop with not congratulating Drake May when they win and he's the North Carolina quarterback and doing some of the stuff that you do. Say it. Like, quit hiding behind. You're a champion coach. Like, if this is the way that you feel, don't drape it in the ornament that your girlfriend is wearing.
It's small and pathetic. It's pathetic what he's doing. To have Jordon wear that shirt and send that message out the weekend that franchise is in the Super Bowl, when you know people are going to be looking at you and decontextualizing everything, every single one of your moves out in public with one another. I am flabbergasted at how ugly this has gotten publicly, because in my mind, he did just say it. In my mind, that is a statement with Kraft's statement a couple of days earlier saying Bill deserves and trying to high road it. For him to come back in low road like that is nuts.
Mike, if he said it, if Bill Belichick said it, what about Robert Kraft being caught at that sex parlor? If he said it, it would be headlines and it would be nonstop. It wouldn't be whispered about, and it wouldn't have, I'm not sure, did he know? Like, is he a doddering old man? If he said it, it would be headlines for days, and there would be no misunderstanding about, he actually hates everything in that organization now. He's not said that.
Yeah, I am not. Maybe you guys are putting more stock into the did he or did he not know.
It's just so tasteless.
It's so obvious.
Right.
Yes.
It's so obviously tasteless that I have to imagine he can't be this aggressively petty.
He's showing us who he is.
No, I mean, that's wild if he is.
The thing about it, though, is, again, hurt people hurt people. This is Bob Kraft's greatest public shame. That you're hitting in the softest spot. Like, this is, he was widowed. And he loved his wife, and their love was a public love that everyone in New England knows about. And an old man was caught at a Boca strip mall in the middle of a ring in which he made a lot of that stuff go away. Like, because of the amount of power that he has, a lot of that stuff was a momentary blip, and then he fought it, and then it went away. Bill Belichick being with someone who's purposely showing off at that game this weekend Bob Kraft's greatest public shame. I would like there to be more. If that's the amount of petty that Belichick has in him, I would like to hear it spoken instead of us having to interpret whether or not it's so when they're making it this obvious. What are you shaking your head about, Tony?
Dan, everything that you're saying, I'm listening to it, and I'm thinking of one thing. You could have said all those different things and just switched the name. It's exactly what Giannis did too, by the way. Oh, just standing behind an absolute.
Just say it, man.
Just say it. You want to get traded, but you don't want to get traded. I want to find a new home, but now you come out after the trade deadline and say, "No, I attract stars." No, you don't. No, you don't. You have Miles Turner. Okay, you had Kyle Kuzma. You didn't attract shit. You know what you attracted? A guy that they cut from Brooklyn. Okay.
Oh, but this
Cam
isn't
Thomas,
the reason.
that's it.
This you're talking about what happened with him and this alternate gambling market that is predicting futures. You're talking.
Oh, he hasn't even gotten.
I haven't even started that. I haven't even started that. That ruined his legacy, by the way.
This is a open and shut. What are we doing here?
Ruined his legacy.
Open and shut.
Oh, yeah, Pablo, 5 minutes on the Kalshi Giannis thing. How is this allowed? How is it allowed? Terrible. He waits until his name is in the news cycle for weeks on end to announce a Kalshi prediction market partnership. That's not something that
after
just
the
comes
trade
together.
deadline. After the trade deadline.
While he's manipulating the markets.
Don't worry. Adam Silver will get on it.
They're taking millions of dollars in bets as to which team he'll land on that platform. And then he comes out after being all coy and stuff and saying he's a partner.
You weren't even talking about that, though?
No, he wasn't.
You're just talking about just his other social media behavior of I don't leave.
I'm not
attract
effing leaving.
Stars.
Yes, putting the Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street thing up, saying I'm not leaving, buddy. 3 weeks ago, you said you wanted to find a new home, and then you. Dog and pony show, okay, with Milwaukee.
They called it a sideshow.
It was a sideshow.
Maybe we should revisit what Brian Windhorst was saying there, because the teams were left with the impression, oh, these guys aren't serious about moving him, and then they didn't move him. Teams were informed the evening before the deadline that they were not moving him, but it was absolutely something that prediction markets were getting handles on, and it was something that he perpetuated. So now he comes out as a partner for this platform, as a financial backer of Kalshi. Like, he stood to gain from all the action they took. Is this nuts? How is this allowed?
Yeah, it's crazy, especially because those partnerships don't happen overnight, and over the course of the time after it was brought up by Shams that, hey, Giannis wants out of Milwaukee and they're looking at trades and the Bucks are taking it seriously. $23 million were put into Kalshi over whether or not he would leave Milwaukee. $23 million. And he is a financial investor in this company, and that comes out the day after in this way that is so cocky about it. It was brazen in the way he went about it. It was shocking.
And guess what? It's not regulated.
Not regulated at all.
Not regulated. You can put whatever you want in whatever amount of money and be like, all right, yeah, I'm here. I'm in Wisconsin. Here it is. Boom.
He also announced a partnership, an ownership stake in Chelsea Women's Football Club. It seemed as though Giannis used the trade deadline and his name being in the news as a setup for a whole marketing rollout on partnerships that were trotted out not even 48 hours after the NBA trade deadline. That is with intention.
That is an obvious conflict of interest, and I want to get into what it is that Tony was saying about ruined legacy, because I don't believe that this will stick to him in any meaningful way, no matter how mad Miami people are that they did not get him. But when we talk about some of the stuff going on with gambling markets in general and how much we don't know about the behavior of some of our athletes and where they're conflicted. I don't know if you guys have seen Emmanuel Clase, the Guardians closer, was as good a closer as there was in the sport. Now the numbers are he manipulated 48 games. Like there were 48 games where he was throwing. It's a lot more than people thought. He was really terrible last year. It didn't make any sense that he was terrible because he's a dominant closer. So he's never going to play baseball again. Okay, he's going to get banned for life. And that news comes out as Yasiel Puig, who came from Cuba and was an uncommon phenom in baseball, he now faces 20 years in federal prison because of his involvement in gambling in Los Angeles that he was doing privately. He wasn't even doing it through any of these regulated or unregulated sources and then lied to federal investigators. So now he's facing 20 years. You're talking about somebody who was a Dodger superstar, somebody who was a legitimate baseball phenom now faces 20 years. When you say ruined legacy, guys, on this, I don't believe anyone's talking about this. I have heard no one, never mind ruined legacy on Giannis, I've heard no one talking or caring about the conflict that you guys are talking about, which is you can't do what he just did. Like, that's not something that should be allowed to happen quietly. That's not something that should be allowed to happen with people not noticing it. People shouldn't notice Bill Belichick's girlfriend's shirt more than they notice this particular conflict. And when we talk about foreign players, when I talk about Emmanuel Clase, Yasiel Puig, Giannis Antetokounmpo, when they come to this country, they have to live by our rules. But what are the rules here? This stuff's not governed. Like, what are the rules when the president of the United States, okay, is taking $500,000 from the, or 500, was it 500,000 or 500 million? I don't even know what it was. Some ridiculous fee that he was taking that he says he doesn't know about because his sons are involved in it. And it involves giving away AI information in exchange for that money because everything's compromised now. It doesn't matter what's regulated, what's not regulated. Rules don't matter anymore. No one's talking about, set up the conflict again so that people understand who don't understand. There was plenty of advertising for this during the Super Bowl because unregulated gambling is...
Well, they call it futures markets, Dan.
It's like prediction market,
it's
right?
a prediction market.
Predictions are largely unregulated. And LeBron has a marketing partnership with DraftKings. Kevin Durant has done stuff with ownership stakes in the betting space. But prediction markets... And platforms that are totally dedicated to prediction markets, this is something new that the NBA is dealing with. There hasn't been precedent, I don't think, for somebody that has a stake in a sole prediction market platform. And to have it all roll out by the deadline is crazy. And it seems like, did this not go through some sort of compliance with the NBA? A partnership like this cannot be taking the NBA by surprise, which is why I'm stunned at the timing. Because if the NBA knew about this and it cleared their checks and balances, the optics of this, given everything that's going on with salary cap circumvention in that league, are terrible. It's terrible optics because you're looking at what happened with this trade and the Giannis pursuit, and you could very clearly see now that it's over that, Giannis kind of manipulated this a little bit. The narrative around his actual departure wasn't the truth.
It's not going to stick to him, though. Ruined legacy, you guys are getting carried away with that. Like, you guys can shake, Jeremy, you can shake your head all you want. How do you have this sticking to him?
I'm telling you, like, a lot of people felt differently about him over the last 48 hours after that than they did before.
Yeah, Heat fans.
No. NBA, you should have
people
seen the way NBA internet reacted to this. People calling for him to be in prison over what just happened in the manipulation of these markets. Like, and I'm talking about like reputable people. I'm not talking about like random Heat fan 1, 2, 3.
I'll determine how reputable.
Oh, he put you on the spot there. You
Name somebody who said Giannis should be imprisoned.
Okay, I'll go grab the name.
I feel for Jeremy here because you just cornered him. I'm surprised you didn't say it with the marbles in your mouth.
No.
How about your name?
To be fair, though,
how do you know
Spring break isn't what it used to be. It's better. This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card. Life's a trip, Make the most of it at Best Western. Visit bestwestern.com for complete terms and conditions.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Don Batard.
John, can you rate my Al Pacino from that billiard scene in Carlito's Way if I do it for you? I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stugotz.
You think you're big time? Or you're gonna die? Big time!
That is on my infamous scale of 1 to 10. That's a 7.6.
Solid.
Good job.
Good
job. That's a Suey nominee right there.
Good.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Go ahead. You want to be
Why do we need to be fair? We're scorned by Giannis.
No.
Let's wear our bias on our sleeves.
What I was going to say, outside of the Kalshi thing,
we are calling for jail.
Trying to figure out who
that
in
is
prison
for.
Yeah,
that is the
unfair.
Official position of the scorned Heat fan is we are calling for jail.
At least wait 2 weeks before you spit in my face.
With
That's the thing. Like if this happened like next week, all right, not as painful.
And
but the next
shady,
day
and less shady.
Can I tell you who should be in jail? I'm being serious here.
Who's that, Zaz?
The head coach of the Utah Jazz, Will Hardy. You see what happened on Saturday night? I'm being serious now.
No.
This is a good segue.
I did not see what the Utah Jazz
He
did
should be
on
in prison.
Saturday.
I'm being serious.
Really?
So Saturday night.
Hold on, before you get any further, just I love the Amin stat of 3 years ago, the Utah Jazz had the single worst defensive season of any team ever. Topped only by what they did the next season, 2 seasons ago, topped only by what they're doing this season. That's why he should be in prison, okay? But continue.
So I'm going to enter some more evidence then to the case, all right? So the Utah Jazz, they traded for Jaren Jackson Jr. last week. It's clearly looking toward the future, all right? But they're still tanking, okay? Because their pick is protected if it's 1 through 4. If it's 5 through 9, they have to give it up. I think maybe to the Clippers. But it's protected 1 through 4. So they still want to lose. Okay, the Utah Jazz on Saturday night, they're playing at the Orlando Magic. The Jazz were up by 7 going into the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, Lauri Markkanen, who had 27 points through 3 quarters, did not play a single second in the fourth quarter.
Good player.
Jaren Jackson Jr., who had 22 points through 3 quarters, did not play a single second in the fourth quarter. Starters Yusuf Nurkic and Keontae George also did not play a single second in the fourth quarter. And predictably, the Orlando Magic came back and won the game 120-117. So let me ask you something. You know, when Jonte Porter purposely comes in with unders, under points, under rebounds, this is a federal offense because he is manipulating gambling odds. The Utah Jazz head coach here, not before the game, where they're like, listen, we're trying to tank, so we're going to sit guys, and they're going to play, and if they win, they win, and if they don't, they don't. Things were not going the way that the Utah Jazz wanted through 3 quarters because they want to lose games. Right. So in the middle of the game, the head coach decided to make strategic moves to ensure that the team loses. That's not point shaving?
They said before the game that Keontae George would be on a minutes restriction, but nobody else. That is.
Isn't that the definition of point shaving? You are making strategic in-game decisions to make sure that a specific outcome, losing, happens. That's point shaving.
Look, I usually think you're a sucker. You're dead on this.
How is this okay?
Look, this is what we're discussing. This is what this hour is. How is any of this okay?
Jordon Hudson. All 3 stories.
Jordon Hudson. How is this okay? Giannis having conflict of interest with the predictions market. How is this okay? And also the Utah Jazz losing on purpose. How is this okay?
Jeremy did find some support online. He found someone asking openly, is this okay?
A credible person?
Reputable. Yes, reputable. OG Anunoby addict at playoff bound NYK.
Hold on, wait, read that again?
Yeah, OG Anunoby addict.
OG Anunoby.
Me too. I was like,
playoff bound NYK asks, how is this legal?
Not reputable.
No?
He's made the ruling.
There is an MLB journalist that had questioned how it's not manipulating
Who?
markets.
Clark
but I don't want to throw him under the bench.
June Lee?
Well, June Lee, June Lee did a
Lee's
whole
on that beat. June Lee's all
he did a
about like
whole
how
thing
like
on it.
gambling's taking the joy away from sports. I don't know, man. When Henderson got that catch at the end, your boy was pretty happy.
When A.J. Barner scored that first touchdown, Dan, I was elated.
Well, just needed a half a rushing yard from JSN.
You got a defensive touchdown, too.
And
you
I got a
predicted
defensive
it. What
touchdown.
did that pay? What is a defensive touchdown? I'm not asking you how much you bet. I'm saying, was it 7-1, 10-1? What does it pay for a deal? What were the odds on a? Because I think Damashek said, I was thinking about Damashek because he said it was 11-1 odds that you get for a safety, and they were pinned inside their 5-yard line, and
they were at the one.
Like the ingredients were perfect to get a safety, given Will Campbell was out there. They can't block anybody, and it's the number one defense pinning the Patriots inside of their 6-yard line 3 different times. That would have paid 11-1. But what did a defensive touchdown? Can you guys look? 850.
850.
That's very good.
And I got A.J. Barner. It's plus 750.
So Smith and Jigba leaves that game, and it doesn't even end up mattering because of how it is that the Seahawks and Collinsworth saw it early, right? It's 3-0 middle of the first quarter, and he's like, oh, this is going to be a defensive game. Like, there's going to be no answer for what's presently happening out on the field at any point from the Patriots. But did you guys, on the commercials, we have not talked about the commercials. It's the only time at any point in the year that anyone talks about or pays attention to commercials. And I thought that the Goodwill, what was it? The Goodwill Dunkin commercial, that was going to feed a certain demo for the nostalgic among you. You know, they bring out Ted Danson from Cheers and they make him look young. They made all these people look the age they were when they were in the 90s. The whole commercial was meant to feed the demo of, did you love this stuff back in the 90s, 30 years ago? So it's a commercial for old people, and it's summoning parts that a whole generation of people don't even know Ted Danson as the bartender from Cheers. Like, they don't, I don't even know if they necessarily watch Friends, although it plays on commercials everywhere. I also didn't understand why they wouldn't get Matt Damon, given that he was in the last Dunkin' commercial with Affleck and Belichick and Jordon Hudson. Why did they have Ben Affleck playing the role of Matt Damon when they could have just gotten Matt Damon, who didn't participate in the commercial?
At the end of the commercial, there was a little disclaimer that said, like, back in the 90s, there was a real leading man who played Will Hunting in a movie that was very popular, like trying to appeal to Gen Z in that respect. I would have really loved this commercial if they didn't de-age these guys. If they would have looked exactly how they look now, but with the wigs to de-age them, as opposed to the stupid, like, why are we doing this CGI to try to de-age these people? It's so stupid. None of us want to see all of this, like, AI manipulating all of it. It's so frustrating.
Speaking of the CGI, that Jurassic Park CGI, awful.
I didn't like it.
Awful.
Left me uncomfortable.
It's terrible.
With the de-aging. I'm with you. That looked bad. Although I did enjoy the nostalgia of the commercial.
Did anyone have more commercials than Jeff Goldblum? Did any one person have more commercials? I know this is
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
How thrilled were their agents when all those emails started rolling in? I actually thought the karaoke one for Coinbase was pretty good.
That one got the attention of our room. I couldn't get anyone to shut up, but everyone started singing when that one came on.
Yeah, and because of that, my entire Super Bowl party started booing when it ended up being for freaking Coinbase. Like, everyone's so excited. Oh, karaoke. What is this going to be? Coinbase? Really?
What's your deal?
You don't like crypto. We get it.
What's your deal?
It was Denny's, you would have been good. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
Yes, Denny's would have been fine for him. Grand Slam.
Mike Tyson did a commercial for healthy eating, and there has been in the history of, I'm going to say, American sports and American marketing, never been someone like Mike Tyson. You can never have a convicted rapist be in commercials for your things. That's not something that's ever been so. He navigates a space that why is that? He's that famous and that recognizable that the Q rating is somehow, like you guys say that this is going to ruin Giannis's legacy. There are some legacies that are so large that they're almost not ruinable with little things, and not that being in prison for rape for 3 years is a little thing, but his life is so crazy throughout that somehow that is a spot on it that's not the lead spot and can somehow get erased over years, somehow in a way that doesn't totally make sense to me, because there's never been someone in the history of marketing who gets to occupy this particular space.
He was in a terrible space, and you know what put him over? The Hangover. Like, that movie put him over back into the good graces of everybody in society.
But convicted rapist doesn't ever get to be spokesman for commercial things during the Super Bowl, and no one, and there's not even a public objection.
And someone who's generally well-liked.
Well, it's because of what Tony is saying. It's because the Hangover, all of a sudden he went from menacing to being somebody in a comedy that we can laugh with, and was making fun of himself. But again, convicted rapist. And not just convicted rapist, but told me one time, yeah, I was more comfortable there than I was on the outside. Like, I didn't want to actually leave. My life was better in there than it is on the outside, because I got a bunch of people grabbing at a whole bunch of stuff that I want on the outside, and on the inside nobody messes with me, and I could just be alone, and my life is easier. What were the top 3 commercials, though, by consensus? Like, the Goodwill Dunkin' commercial was one of them, was it not? And I understand Tony making a face because it was for a demo, and it's not Tony's demo.
Like, I knew a couple of guys, but then after that I was like, okay, that's whatever.
There were two others that I really liked. I liked the NFL tight end prostate commercial.
Yes.
That was very funny. And the Budweiser.
The Budweiser one was the best one of the entire night.
With the Clydesdale and then the bald
Eagle,
Eagles.
dude. Miller Lite with Freebird playing in the background, and they had the Eagle coming up with the horse. I was like, oh,
you didn't
America,
stand
Jack.
up and cheer when
Hell yeah,
Everybody should be careful.
What else, Roy? Do you have any nominees? Do the rest of you have any nominees for the commercials that people were talking about yesterday? Because
No, Goodwill Dunkin' was the best one for me, I believe.
Ben Stiller, Benson Boone.
See, the
falling off the stage is funny.
Yeah, but the thing about that commercial, and I always have an objection to this because I do very little in the way of retention. I'll remember your commercial, but not necessarily what you were advertising, because the commercial is so far afield. Like Ben Stiller as dodgeball rock star who's getting,
Instacart.
Yeah, but you don't remember because it
has
doesn't
nothing to do with
Instacart. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's just a commercial you remember, but you don't remember the product as it relates to marketing. Finally, though, and I'm glad Bad Bunny has a quicker video team than the one that we have located the Bob Kraft audition that was his greatest public shame before the massage parlor.
Hi, I'm Ricky Lander, and I'm auditioning for Mary Elena. Okay, yes, that is burned in my memory. You can stop now.
You.
Lionel!